Where politics meets common sense. This is Nightcaps with Nate.
Coming to you live from just outside the swamp of the nation's capital. Get ready for invigorating talk, commentary, and debate on the issues affecting your life. Grab your favorite drink. It's Nightcaps with Nate. Now, here's Nate.
All right, welcome back to another Redneck Wednesday. Redneck Wednesday, one of my favorite nights because then I have my little rednecks. Not my, they're actually bigger than me, both of them. Big OJD and medium-sized Kevin. And I'm like the small guy. And if you know me in person, I'm not even that small. I'm just small next to you guys. You guys are like some built, like gravy-eating, corn-husking. Corn-fed, yeah. I mean, I had that.
Corn-fed biscuit heads.
I had Flint, Michigan corn, so it's probably not even real corn. It was welfare corn. It was in a can, and all it said was corn on it. And my parents said back in the day.
Not GMO.
Oh, no, I'm sure that was GMO. Back in the day, if you were on welfare, you didn't get you got food stamps, but a lot of your food had to come from like this pantry, this warehouse. Apparently, I never know where my parents got it, but we'd get like a can and it'd just say pork. And government cheese made the best grilled cheese ever, but you guys you guys basically got the real food, man. You guys were like rocking it, apparently, because you guys are built country fried. Where in Texas are you from, Kevin?
South Texas, down by Corpus Christi.
Oh, I used to live in Corpus Christi for a little bit.
Yeah, we talked about that a little while back. My dad was in the Navy, so
okay.
I was in Ingleside, Texas, and grew up eating burritos for breakfast. So
yeah, tamales on Christmas.
Oh yeah, tamales on Christmas type. Yeah, well, our family didn't really necessarily do that, but
but it's
a lot of my friends did that.
Yeah, because it's around you, so you kind of get sucked into it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I love tamales.
I don't like tamales, but everybody else likes them.
They don't like me.
Yeah.
They don't? You shit them out, huh?
Dude, anything hot anymore, bro, it's over with. I am shutting it down.
I'm even getting that way, man. It sucks, too, because, I love hot food. Love hot food. But, even I'm feeling the burn. Not the Bernie burn, the other burn.
Not the Bernie burn.
So I just came up with I take a bite and then I drink Pepto-Bismol. I take a bite.
It's like your chaser. You got a chaser or Pepto. I got it, man. That's hey, when we get about 10 more years from now, we're just going to do old Redneck Wednesdays. We're going to talk about our Geritol. All of our beards are going to be gray.
We'll be on here bitching about our Social Security checks.
Right.
Yep, there you go.
Stimulus, what's stimulus?
I need more stimuli.
You ever watch Grumpy Old Men?
Oh my God, dude!
Why don't you pull your bottom lip over your head and swallow? Hey, Ron. Oh man! So hey, welcome to Redneck Wednesdays. Like I said, we got JD, the big guy he's on the bottom of your screen right now, and then we got Kevin Alleman, my militia man. My gun rights guy. In fact, he's going to love our first story because he is currently living in Virginia. That's where he got out of the military and decided to stay because his wife was from Virginia. Funny because his wife is so country. I think we talked about it last week maybe a little bit, but she's country. And you guys have got yourself a brand new law signed in. You guys should be very proud of yourself. Let's see here. Bring it on over. Virginia governor signs gun control bills into law. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam has signed several new gun restrictions he championed during this year's legislative session, cementing gains by gun control advocates they hope will serve conservatives. I want you to listen to this when you guys decide to vote moderate Democrat. Ready? These are designed to serve as a blueprint, unquote, for states around the country. Yes, Virginia was once a socially conservative state where lawmakers in both parties viewed gun rights as sacrosanct, and the NRA held great sway. And if ABC News is just gloating right now. But as the state has grown more urban and suburban, Northern Virginia, the gun lobby's influence has waned. A mass shooting last year in Virginia Beach made gun control a front-burning issue in Virginia, and heavy spending by groups backed by former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. Remember, he was coming in as our moderate choice for president, okay? So just remember that, all you conservatives out there, and union Democrats who the union tells you to vote Democrat because of your union. If you like your guns, which most of you do, No such thing. Not in today's climate. This isn't JFK's party anymore, okay? Not even Bill Clinton's party. Help Democrats flip control of the legislature in Virginia in November. Gun control advocates said Friday they're planning to replicate their success in Virginia in other states. All right. John Feinblatt, president of Everytown for Gun Safety. By the way, they'll always call it gun safety, not gun control, okay? That was coined by a focus group during the Clinton administration. These are gun safety measures, what they call them, and suburban women eat it up.
Yep.
Said his group plans to spend heavily in key battleground states this year. Like, listen to this. If you're listening to this from Arizona, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, to elect lawmakers who support new gun restrictions. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. I think I said enough commentary for that. Y'all can go ahead. Go ahead, JD. Tell us what you think. I don't think JD froze up, did he? Evan, you can hear me?
He froze. He's froze.
Hey, proof that it's not my system. Go ahead.
I mean, whenever you look at any type of gun safety measures that any government takes, you look at the tax stamp that they put on the SBRs, the short SRBs, the short rifle barrel weapons, the suppressors, all these things that they put. It's a $200 tax stamp that they put on these things, right? And the reason behind the $200 tax stamp, to put some history behind it, is the fact that it was made it harder for people to be able to buy the equipment. So therefore, it was like a way of regulating this equipment.
Wait, what kind of gun is this?
This is back in the 1960s or whatever. These are all these laws that are currently federal laws that you have to get a tax stamp to get a suppressor, or to get an SRB, or to get any type of certain firearm equipment that you want.
Okay.
These laws were put into place back in the day because it was a way. So $200 was a big fine, or a big fee to get something, but it was put into place to stop the local, like the gangs and stuff like that, right? So like the mafia and things like that. But that money was cheap money for them, so they tagged it as a safety regulation or safety fee. But at the end of the day, all it does is it takes a piece of equipment out of the hands of the common folk and keeps the piece of equipment in the hands of the people that don't care about these laws. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you don't care about the law, you're going to get it however you want.
Especially back in the
Same
1960s, man. You know how much $200 in the 1960s? That could have been a week's pay.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
so that's all these safety regulations are only a way to control the populace, the normal populace, the people that make their money honestly from getting these things. And the same thing with these bills that they're passing nowadays are only ways to put restriction on us and keep those firearms and those equipments in the hands of people that necessarily don't need it, or even the government to have a higher power arcing ability over stranglehold over the populace.
Yeah. JD, you froze up there for a minute, but can you?
I'm here. I'm here, bro.
You're here. You're here. You're here. You're here. No, I'm not gonna say it. All right. You got your. Hey, you always have your bow and arrow though, buddy. And I know.
I'm not worried.
I know you can kill from far away
that.
with that because you took out that. What was that? Turkey or bird? What was that sitting on top of a roof?
Yeah, chicken buzzard.
Chicken buzzard. He killed it with his bow and arrow. No shit.
Yeah, we could talk about gun rights for days.
We could, but here's the big takeaway, okay? Moderate Democrats are moderate until they get around their own. And when they get to state capitol, that's when they tend to kind of turn and start, well, yeah, they didn't ban assault weapons because of a few moderate Democrats in the state house, but guess what? That's next. That's the slippery slope. And this time they might have stood up for that, but guess what? They went after everything else.
Yeah.
Including the idea that you can only buy one gun per month.
Yep.
Ludicrous. Why? I would have been against one gun per week.
I think a lot of this stuff, and growing up, I used to watch a lot of Wyatt Earp movies, and this is what do they call it? The uncommon opinion. I don't agree with Wyatt Earp, and I don't like his movies anymore because he pushed gun laws back in California, and look where California is today, right? So the NRA is located here, headquartered in Virginia, and yet they're not even putting a stronghold on Virginia. Virginia is a steady slope that's heading downward. And I think that a lot of it has to do with Yeah, they had purpose and laws back in the day that kind of progressively moved to kind of form and structure a good society. But good guys with guns, and this is a common thing that you hear in the Second Amendment talk. Good guys with guns will stop the bad guys with guns, and that's the bottom line. And the biggest thing about it is stopping tyranny overall, because without the Second Amendment, the rest of the amendments are nothing. They're null and void at that point. We have no capability of saving our own amendments from the tyrannical governments.
Yeah, crazy. All right, go back to coronavirus news. Let me do my little music. I always do the Walking Dead soundtrack when this comes on. I don't know why, because at first when we were going through this, man, it just felt kind of like the Walking Dead. You know, it's like this new reality, and I think now we're kind of getting used to it, which scares me. And I'll tell you why it scares me, because the government could take anything away now. They call it a bad flu season. All of a sudden, we're all in lockdown. Can't congregate.
Do you think now is the new norm?
No, I think it's the new normal for the extreme. So like the first time I don't know. I said it was like, back when I was young, I tried forever to get laid, man. For some reason, I couldn't do it. But once I did, it was like just falling in my lap. It's just like
then you met me, and it was like, well, I'll be damned.
Yeah, I gave up men. I gave up men for a while after that. Let's just say I wasn't the big spoon. But anyways, back to Walking Dead stuff. Sweden resisted a lockdown, and its capital, Stockholm, is expected to reach herd immunity in weeks. If true, that is the best news they can possibly get, because that means people are starting to, the virus will die in that area because there's nowhere for it to go. Unlike its neighbors. Now, this comes from CNBC, so it's not some, whack job news outlet. Well, first of all, anything NBC related is whacked up. But what I'm saying is that they're mainstream, okay? Sweden did not impose a lockdown amid the coronavirus outbreak. The strategy aimed at building a broad base of immunity while protecting at-risk groups like the elderly. But Sweden's chief epidemiologist has said herd immunity could be reached in Stockholm within weeks. What that means is they can actually go about their life and not worry about a second wave unless it mutates a lot. What that means is that even if it mutates a lot, it won't be as deadly because your body still has some semblance of knowing what to attack and how to attack it. It means that if true, and they didn't suffer all the deaths, that means that I think New York City and them are misclassifying deaths on purpose to get more equipment, more money, more sympathy, more something. Because yes, they have had a lot of deaths, but I have a feeling that a lot of those were heart attack deaths and all that stuff. Yes, people are going to die, but people that are healthy and young, I mean, you probably just had it a few weeks ago, as you were telling me, JD, and your wife has it now, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I still have it.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a virus. Your body's going to fight it off. It's going to knock you on your ass a little bit. But guess what? You come out.
Yeah.
What's the saying? If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
Yeah, but my thing is I don't even have I've had the flu, and the flu sucks worse than this. I mean, this is more like on and offset headaches, fever spikes and stuff like that, but it's not nothing that like knocks you on your ass like the flu does. So I don't.
Yeah, I think once we get used to it, it's not going to be as bad.
Yeah.
It's your body has no clue what it is, so it's trying all different things, spiking fevers, all that. I mean, I'm not a doctor. Don't get your medical advice with me, but
I think everybody's starting to get kind of fed up with it because we just got the news today that Colorado, effective May 1st, there's no more quarantine.
Yeah, I think any place that depends on tourism is going to do that unless they're absolutely stupid.
Yeah,
because
only thing that they're keeping. They did send out the notification that school will be closed until further notice.
But that's because that's a germ bed, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's
if you want to catch herd immunity, you go to a school and sit for a few days. Some teachers have herd immunity. The only people that have as much herd immunity as a school are nurses and doctors and healthcare workers.
Right. I think now, to me, now is going to be the new norm. I think people are just going to be like, I'm not going outside without a mask. And I think a lot of companies are going to start doing, taking people's temperatures more and making more regulations just, to keep production going. So it doesn't continue to get worse. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think the biggest thing that we're going to learn from this occasion is to realize when you're sick, to stay home. If you have the capability to do it, like for instance, for myself and Nathan, our job allows us the capabilities that when you feel sick, when you think you're sick, stay home.
If you
Because
even
last
have a
thing
scratchy throat, stay home. They don't want you in the
home.
office. You can work
Right.
from home.
And so I think that if your company, if your position, if your job allows you to work from home, it's going to be a realization to say, hey, you feel scratchy, you feel a little sick, just stay home for a few days, figure it out. If it gets worse, go to the hospital, get some meds, get some whatever you need, stay home, get healthy, come back to work. You can still do your job. Everything's good, but now you're not getting the entire company sick. And I think that idea is going to flow through a lot more companies.
And I agree with what you're saying. When it comes to manufacturing stuff, we're going to start being a little more careful. I bet you there's going to be more masks during flu seasons. So this is not just going to help us with this coronavirus. It's going to help us in the flu season. I think we can tamp down a lot of the flu season if everybody during flu season wore a mask to work, especially if you're in manufacturing, food service, any of those things where, obviously business development people, they're going to probably not go into a meeting with a mask on, but, but us corporate dads, as you call us.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing is they released an article here. So they did like a survey thing, and they found that a lot of the companies that had to have people stay at home and do their job had more production now with people working at home than they did coming into an office and working. So they're talking about facilitating in order to where they can make them positions permanently at home positions because people are doing a better job at doing their own job.
Well, I'll tell you, our production spiked. We just got an email yesterday, and our production spiked at home. But what you do lose out, though, is on collaboration. So even if you work from home, another company at one of our clients, I'm not going to name them because I don't have permission to, but it's a major multi-billion-dollar client that I work on. They come in once a week. It's on Tuesdays, I think, or something like that. And they'll at least the team that I'm working with, they don't go to an office except for on Tuesdays. And then that's where they kind of talk, have meetings, collaborate, bump elbows. I bet you the handshake goes away. The handshake, people are not going to be shaking hands as much.
Yeah, but why couldn't you still do that though? Why couldn't you still have a set day of the week to have an office meeting, but then still have people go back to their homes?
Totally
and do
agree.
their job?
Totally agree.
Why not? Because it gives you more freedom to do things. So you're not stressing out about, okay, I'm at the office and I got to leave and try to beat the clock to get here or there. You can still accommodate your needs and the company's needs at the same time.
Well, production has gone up because we're not commuting, especially here in the DC metro area. You know what the commute's like down into to Northern Virginia. Yeah. I mean, I gained 2 hours of my day. Go ahead.
That overhead cost that comes with actually having a physical facility that you have to pay for all the time, you're cutting back on a lot of that overhead cost by having people working from
just in lights, just in lights, and think about our company. We've grown and we got water that comes in. I mean, we drink. God, I think we drink 5 or 10 gallons of that fresh water that comes in. We can't even keep it a day. I mean, that's all expenses right there, and they could actually go to smaller workstations because you're not there all the time. You'd have a shared office space,
Everything would be satellite. Everything would be a satellite workstation. You rotate Monday, whatever, Tuesday.
Team A, B, and C, and then you have an all hands once a month like we do anyway. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that's going to change. I think that we've learned to be, and you know what? Every company could say, hey, we've cut down on emissions by 20% by doing that. It looks good on their resume. Hey, let me tell you what. We don't have President Obama anymore. We have a new sheriff in town. Iran's always been like a mosquito every time you go through their waters, and they had the little Iranian boats that come and hell, it even went as far into the Obama administration that they didn't fear us so much that they actually took control of one of our vessels. If you guys remember that. In fact, it's right here on the screen. Remember the Navy commander surrendered to Iran to protect Obama's nuclear deal. That was an excuse, but it was humiliating, man. Pictures all over the place. All of our men on their knees to this little piss-ass thing. Well, Trump's taking a different angle. Trump has just authorized last night the Navy to destroy any Iranian vessel harassing U.S. ships. He has given a blanket authorization to commanders. And I'll tell you what, I was in the military, Kevin was in the military, and we were in the fighting forces, the Marine Corps and the Army, okay? And, our hands are always tied. Commanders are scared to authorize use of force. When we were in Bosnia and Kosovo and stuff, we actually had to count our ammunition every night or when we got issued ammunition in the morning and counted at night, and we had to account for any bullet that was missing.
Yep.
Okay, because our hands are tied, man. That's why under Clinton in the Kosovo thing, what also happened? Same thing as here. Remember those POWs that got taken from us?
Yep.
You know, 5 of them, because they were scared to use force. They came under fire. Yep. These are scouts. These are highly trained scouts, but they did not want to use their weapon because, God forbid, they would get court-martialed or something. So they're like, what do I do, you know? And by the time they finally made the decision, it was just too late. Oh, no, what you had to do is you had to call ahead. Hey, I got people all around me. Request permission to use force, you know? And they'd be like, oh, hold on, let me. And then they had to go up to their commander.
Yep.
But by then, it was too late. They were all surrounded. Never mind. You can cancel your order. We're being taken away now, you know? This is what I like about Trump and I like about Reagan and even Bush, okay? And I'm not a big fan of Bush. But they don't F around, man. You know what I'm saying? They're not effing around. Keep playing with us, and we're gonna blow your little Iranian vessels out of the water.
Yeah, I don't believe in being the world police. Like a lot of people believe that like America should be the world police. I think that we got our position in this world, and our position that we stand in is sufficient enough on its own. I believe that the UN should do its job in a lot of ways, and a lot of people that know me know I've talked about this a lot. But one thing I will say is that I'm not a big believer in backing myself into a corner and then trying to fight myself out of that corner afterwards. After everything's done, settled, and now you're trying to figure out how to get things straightened out. And so with what happened with Obama's administration and the nuclear deal, Iran whole aspect, I mean, these guys are on fishing boats that I used to fish in high school. Like, that's what just took on a Navy vessel. That is absolutely berserk. Like, to think that happened. So the fact that President Trump was willing to step up and say, green light, don't let them play with us like that. It's about keeping that tactical advantage against them, so that at no point do we get sideswiped or sneaked up behind.
Exactly. And to further your point, Russia crossed into Turkey's airspace one time. Guess what happened? You know how Russia kind of skirts our airspace and they'll joke around and play around because they know we won't do anything? Turkey, they just shot the plane out of the sky and said, hey, he crossed our airspace. Guess how many times Russia's crossed in that airspace again?
None.
Because even a tyrant knows, hey, oh man, they ain't messing around. Yes, Russia could beat Turkey in a war, but half of strength is being willing to do something about it. That's why when all the liberals were scared, like and Trump was talking hard with Kim Jong-un, you know, saying, hey, we got bigger firepower than you. We'll blow you to smithereens, and you're gonna start the next world war and stuff. And no, they're not. He was sitting there telling, hey, there's a new sheriff in town. I ain't scared of you, and nor should we be scared.
They ain't gonna take no shit.
Right now, well, if Kim Jong-un's even living, nobody even knows. You know?
Yeah, right.
I mean, we've actually had the president step on North Korean soil because we can't have peace unless we start talking. That's where I disagree with a lot of the hawkish Republicans. Oh, how dare he get and elevate him to a world stage by talking to him? You're never gonna have peace unless you talk.
Right.
You know? Of course,
if he did talk to him, it would have been well, he's not trying, and it would still been this talk about he's trying to create war. The fact that the president of the United States was at the DMZ was just, I mean, that was crazy along itself. You know, I've been to the DMZ and see the tension that just is created there, and like just the aspect of just being there. It's like trying to breathe in molasses. It's just thick. It's like, oh man, you guys really don't like each other. The fact that the president was there and actually stepped across the border, that's amazing.
It was amazing. Huge. And that's how we're going to get it done. Now, I wasn't, so optimistic to think that it was actually going to get done because Kim Jong-un's a crazy man, but his sister might be taking over when he dies, and she might actually have a way to bring the country into the forget the, 21st century, just the 20th century, because they're so far behind. Moving on. McConnell says he favors allowing states to declare bankruptcy. I've always been in favor of that, although it will raise their bonds, their borrowing costs, because a lot of the state municipal bonds are so low interest for them to borrow because there's no way for them to declare bankruptcy. So he's saying, hey, we're not bailing out your overly priced pensions. Even the federal government and the military has reformed their pension plans. My son, who came in the Army 2 years ago, he's on a different pension plan than I was, or Kevin was, because it's so expensive. We're living longer. Thank God we're living longer, right? But that means that you can't pay out a pension for 90 years, right?
Yeah.
Conservatives have been warning Democrats for years, especially in Illinois and Chicago, and all these Democrats who are beholden to their public sector unions to get them votes, to pay those coffers, to raise them money. Guess what? Now they're going broke, and now they're using this crisis to say, oh, it's because of this crisis that this pension system's broke. Can you float us $50 billion? McConnell's saying no. Trump is kind of saying, yeah, he might think about it. I think that's because he's really angling for the union vote, which would be a smart political play, but I disagree with him there. And I'm not scared to call out Trump when I disagree with him. Definitely not such a big disagreement that I'm going to go vote for Dementia Joe, but, you know. I wouldn't. I mean, the guy's nuts. My sister, who's on this show, she's arguing, hey, well, I hope he has a good vice president, and then I'll vote for him, and then the vice president can take over if needed. Or they're saying it's a backdoor way. Pick Hillary Clinton. He gets elected, and then he gets stepped down because he's got dementia. Then Hillary's the president.
I heard of that one.
Oh, God.
These guys, man, they will try anything to get elected. Anything.
But it's funny that you say that about your sister, is because or even just all Democrats in general, is because they're saying, well, if he gets in there, hopefully he has good advisors around him and like a good VP. And so now they're realizing that advisors are an aspect of the presidency.
Yeah, it's part of the administration.
But whenever Trump was running, it was like, but he has no experience. Well, what happened? Like, what about advisors?
Exactly.
He got good advisors, and he's doing his job, and he's doing a damn good job at doing his job. So, yeah, he might not know how to write a bill or do this or do that, but he's got advisors, and that's what the White House is full of. There's nothing but advisors.
If you judge Trump based on policy alone, I'd give him an A. His Twitter thumbs brings him down to a B-. If he could get his messaging under control. Now, I do like how he talks directly to the American people. But, man, something about Twitter's between the hours of 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. I wish that there was like a filter it has to go through, and somebody has to approve the tweet. But besides that,
deactivated during that time.
just that time. It's like, man, Trump, you're overly tired. Yes, you got up to go take a dump. No need to tweet, okay? Nobody's awake anyways.
That's the only time he's alone. He's like, I got to get it out now.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah. You know they knock on the door? They knock on the door. I'll go and poop. Damn it, Trump, give me your phone. Give me your phone, Trump. Mr. President, I said don't take your smartphone to the... I'm going poop.
He's T911 with an old flip phone in there.
Yeah. He's got like some secret phone. Oh, man. All right, speaking of Dementia Joe Biden's campaign says Donald Trump is responsible for, quote, unimaginable pain and suffering, accusing him of failing on a historic scale by buying China's spin and then lying to the American people. His campaign has put out a new set of talking points. Now, first point there, talking points. Watch the media marching orders. That's what those were. Okay, because the media is a lapdog for Joe Biden. How many of those talking points will make it into everyday media news stories? Let's wait and see. And here they are. Trump, Axios, which is actually a liberal newspaper, obtained a memo that advises Biden's Democratic allies, aka the media, to, quote, crucify Trump's handling of the crisis. Donald Trump has failed on a historic scale, responsible for unimaginable pain and suffering, the memo says. It says that Trump's response can be discussed using the 4 C's. This is so that Joe Biden can actually remember it. Maybe. China, cover-up, chaos, and corporate favoritism. Playing the same old game. The memo accuses Trump of, quote, appeasing China's leaders on coronavirus in order to ink a U.S.-China trade deal. Okay. Now the wokesters are actually coming out, and the Asian Americans that are on the left saying, hey, that's racist. Weren't we just talking about not calling it a China virus, and now you're sitting there basically calling it a China virus? You know, so they're stepping on their own message, but the media is going to pick this up and run with it.
Oh, yeah.
We could hand deliver on gold plates, where they can even keep the gold plates, Republican talking points that will never make it into the media. You hand deliver these to ABC, CBS, NBC, Washington Post, New York Times. I know they say, oh, you got Fox News and maybe that OANN or whatever that nobody really watches, right? And yes, Fox News is the number one cable channel, but cable only gets 2-3 million viewers. ABC, CBS, NBC, all these other places get millions and millions of viewers. So I did put this meme in here because I think once a week I'm going to send one in to my show. Yeah, it's Joe Biden looking at Hillary. After careful consideration, there are some things not even Joe Biden will touch. I thought that was funny. It's Redneck Wednesday. I can get away with a little bit more. All right, here's one for you football fans. Gronk and Brady equals Super Bowl. Excited is an understatement. That's what Ronde Barber said. He's stoked, telling TMZ Sports his squad just became serious Super Bowl contenders. Of course, Ronde is one of the all-time Bucs greats, spending 16 seasons in Tampa and winning a Super Bowl in the process, but the former defensive back admits his beloved squad hasn't exactly been relevant on a national level in years. Until now, baby! You don't sign Tom Brady to a team that has this much talent without the expectation that you want to win a Super Bowl. They have talent on this football team and an emerging defense. Their odds did double, by the way, since signing Brady and Gronk. Still 9-1, but
You know what I find interesting is that it's become a little bit, I don't know. I mean, I'm not super big on like watching all the contracts and all that stuff. I just watch the game for the game. I'm a football fan. I watch the sport. Whatever happens in the season happens. But I do find it interesting that Gronk, after a year of being retired, comes out of retirement, goes to the Buccaneers. Who else did that? Marshawn Lynch did that, right? He retired, and then he went to the Raiders, and he played with the Raiders. And it's just interesting to me that players are retiring because they no longer want to play on the team anymore, which, I mean, if you got the freedom to do that, of course, by all means do it. But it just seems kind of counterintuitive to having like contracts. Why don't we just kind of get rid of the idea of contracts and just have like a game by game system
or year by year
system,
right? But
so that you get rid of this whole idea that players feel locked in and like I have to play this many years. Or I have to retire.
Gronk threatened to retire, which he ended up doing anyways because the Lions were making a play for him. The Detroit Lions. He said, "I'd rather retire," and then he had to come out and say, "Face it, no. What I really meant to say is." I will only play under Brady. So he is living to his thing because Brady went over there and then he is going over there with Brady. But, he was going to retire rather than get traded to the Lions. You know?
Yeah.
We'd have let him.
Sucks for you because y'all don't have anything.
Yeah. And guess what? It's China. It's China's fault. That's the next session here. China. That's how Trump says it. It's China. All right. So, China section. Yes, a lot of people are sneaking around and buying Chinese equipment because it's good, it's cheap, and they have it, right? Come to find out, Illinois spent $17 million on mats from China that may be unusable. Spain sends back second batch of faulty coronavirus tests. ICMR directly procured faulty COVID-19 testing kits from Chinese vendors. That's from India. The Netherlands, Spain, and Turkey have all said some Chinese-made equipment is substandard. Guess what? I could have told you that. But here's the deal. When everybody said that Trump was so late on testing people, part of the reason why he was so late on testing people is because he was trying to find a reliable test. Our own tests that were at the CDC were even not very good. But we couldn't just go out and buy substandard tests from China because nothing worse than a false negative. If you have a false negative and somebody's out walking around, you're doing it anyways. You're spreading it, right? I think that this changes everything. Companies, there's a headline in CNBC, companies will shift supply chains away from China after coronavirus crisis, Mark Mobius predicts. He's some sort of a guru. I think so too, especially our pharmaceuticals. We cannot. That's a national security issue.
Yeah, 100%.
China got big because they were smart and they really, before their president, Xi Jinping or whatever his name is now, they were relaxing and becoming more of a democratized, still communist, but it was really relaxing, man. They were really bringing in, there was billions of people over there, great market to sell to. But then he came in and he's really, really ruined it. He's stifled dissent. There's no more pro-democracy thing. He had Hong Kong on his hands. And really, they make crappy stuff. But we were dependent on them because they have such purchasing power of 2 billion people. Yeah. Guess what? India has over 1 billion people. Indonesia has a crap load of people. There's other countries that we can trade with. I think that the world as a whole needs to say, hey, you know what, China? Let's start over. You got to start earning our suppliers back. You know?
Yeah. Well, whenever you look at like what a lot of Trump has been doing, right? If you go away from China, you go towards like the fuel and gas and stuff like that. I mean, we can produce quite a bit of our own gas, but we were buying so much of it out in Syria and stuff like that. And it's kind of like, why are we going to the Middle East to get something that we can do ourselves? And I mean, obviously, a lot of stuff that happens in America is going to be a little bit more expensive because of our cost of living is higher and minimum wage is higher and all these things. But these things all come into play with the fact that gives people more jobs, that gives people more capability to supply for the family. And so I'm a big believer in buying American stuff. Now, granted, I don't know what in my room has made in China. It's probably quite a bit. But
that American flag behind you is made in China.
I'm gonna have to pull it down and check before we close out tonight.
Not mine. Mine was made. Shout out to my wife's coworker Sam. Her dad made that for us. That's made of wood right there. So that's made here in America.
I got one that's made from FOV, Flags of Valor, right here in the Virginia area.
Good. Hey, by the way, all you gun-loving Virginians, the West Virginia Assembly has already approved you guys to come join our state if you want to. We still share your values, or you guys still share our values. Hey, China can kiss my ass. That's all I can say. They're a pain in our butt. Unless they want to play fair on the world stage. And the only reason why anybody's even talking about any of this stuff, I'll tell you why. Because Trump actually has the balls to stand up and put tariffs on their stuff. Bush talked about it. Obama talked about it. All talk, no action. Like I said, Trump, if we could just take the phone away from 2 to 5 in the morning, that dude would be winning re-election in a landslide, even with a biased media.
There's a lot of stuff that the past presidents talked about. Well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and they never did. Like Jerusalem becoming.
There you go. Even Obama campaigned on that.
Yeah,
you're 100% right.
Everybody loved it, and then Trump did it, and everybody's like, now all of a sudden,
you're going to start a Mideast war.
Pro-Pakistani and this, that, and the other. It's like, come on, people.
Yeah.
Stay consistent with your beliefs.
Yeah, Trump. You can say whatever you want about Trump, but he did what he said he was going to do, and that's what makes him unique. But one Democrat who I've given high marks for so far on his coronavirus thing, Gavin Newsom from California, they haven't learned their lesson from China. He won't. California Gavin Newsom won't share details on $1 billion mask deal with China. Have you not learned? I mean, come on. All these other countries are sending back their masks as substandard, but Governor Newsom is facing pushback as state lawmakers have begun demanding details of his nearly $1 billion deal to receive 200 million masks per month from a Chinese manufacturer. Just 2 weeks after announcing the deal, Newsom has remained largely mum on the specifics. Advisors to the California Democrat have declined requests for comment from the LA Times about the agreement, which was inked with Chinese electric car manufacturer BYD, which stands for Build Your Dreams, earlier this month. So, dude, I mean, just watch Nightcaps and Nate, bro. I will advise you. I don't know if I'm that big, but someday I'll be that big. I speak in faith. All right.
I love it.
Now I got a brand new section. This brand new section is called "And They Call Rednecks Crazy," and the reason why is because other people do some crazy stuff too. It's not only in Florida and the toothless people from Oklahoma or West Virginia, but for instance, gutted him. Son claimed he ate his dad's body parts after ripping out his insides in bloody attack during lockdown. Did this happen where? Oh, none other than New York City. The suspect, who was covered in blood at the time, has been charged with murder in connection with the brutal stabbing death of Imad Ahmad, which is his father. The perp was ranting about how he killed and ate his father and had visible signs of blood. He's been hospitalized for evaluation, hasn't appeared in court yet. A high-ranking NYPD officer told the New York Daily News that the body found in the Brooklyn home was, quote, gutted, unquote. It had to take him a long time for him to do what he did, the officer told the newspaper. The source said the victim's hands were cut off and the innards were all removed. All of the body parts are recovered, which ruled out any possibility of cannibalism. That's the good news, I guess, of the story.
Yeah, halfway good news.
He's been gutted like a deer.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Another thing.
I don't think so.
Huh?
I don't think so.
You don't think it's disgusting to gut a human?
Me and you are locked in an apartment and we're in a situation, I'm eating you. That's just all there is to it.
Okay. I'll never be in an apartment locked in with you.
Yeah, I'm just telling you right now, I'm going to eat. I'm telling you that right now. I'm going to eat.
Sounds good. You're gonna get a lot of fat. This is hey, this ain't that 93.7 burger. Okay, this is like probably 60-40 burger, okay?
Your ham hocks are seasoned.
That's like Wagyu gristle all day.
That is some gristle. By the time you get through all the fat, you're like, man, where's the meat? I mean, besides my pecker, I guess. Sorry, ladies.
All
right.
Here we go. Edit.
Indian. No, this is not a show for kids. That's why I air it at 9. Dude, I'd have so many viewers if I aired this at 7 or 8, but I'm like, dude, you know, sometimes we gotta keep it at 9, I think. Yeah. Here's the next story. Indian man chops off his tongue in sacrifice to stop coronavirus spread. Yep. These guys will do anything. I was going to show another one.
Rednecks are that damn dumb.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, that's retarded.
No, I didn't put it on here, but there's another Indian story where a dude was mad that the cops, they confiscated his moped. You know, they all ride on mopeds over there, and they confiscated it because he keeps breaking the lockdown rules over there. And so he set himself on fire, okay? These guys take that shit. They are not scared. I'll give him that, okay? So Indian man chops off his tongue, a 24-year-old stone cutter, so he knows what he's doing. He cuts stone, so that's his tongue off anyways. In India, chopped off his tongue in an apparent attempt to appease a goddess and stop the spread of the coronavirus, according to reports. Man, okay, first of all, let me just say something for all you casual Christians out there, including I'm guilty too. We can't even make it to church on Sunday. These guys cut off their tongues for their goddess, okay? Vivek Sharma.
Not their god, their goddess. Like,
yeah.
Not their main one, their side chick.
It's one of their 200 or 300, which I have good Hindu friends. I grew up with Hindu friends, but Vivek Sharma, who worked with his brother Shivam and 7 others at the Bhavani Mata Temple in Sugam, became alarmed about the deadly disease, according to the Times of India. His co-worker, not going to say his whole name. Okay, I will. Rajesh Singh Sab Singh told authorities that Sharma, a devotee of Kali Mata, had kept chanting the deity's name. So they found him. He was in a pool of blood. His tongue was out. And guess what? Unfortunately, it did nothing to stop the coronavirus.
He thinks so,
you take
though.
too big of a bite from pizza, and you get like a little nick out of the corner of your tongue.
It hurts so bad.
Like, just imagine that. Like, this guy, he went all out, like slammed his chin up against the table.
No, he was a stone cutter. You know, he had probably something that, he had probably one swoop. But you know that.
Y'all ever seen the Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah, I remember that.
Whenever, what's his name? He did that on the table and it cut his tongue off so he wouldn't talk. Man.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
All right, what?
He's a hard dude to do it to himself. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No,
he's insane. Face a bunch of times. My fist would hurt before you cry about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like growing up, I always thought the kamikazes are crazy or suicide bombers are crazy, you know, in the last 15 years, but that's instantation. That's quick death.
That's quick though, dude. Yeah,
these guys set themselves on fire, chop their tongue off.
What do you think you got to think to be like, I'm going to set my damn self on fire. I'm going to show them.
I'm going to show them. Take away my scooter.
Yeah. Show you. I'm going to burn the hell out of myself.
Tonight, boys and girls.
I mean, what did he hope to gain after you go, you got your scooter back, but you can't ride it for 6 months because you're like burned all over your body.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right. Here's some disappointing news. Sorry, all you R. Kelly fans. He's failed in his second bid to be released from jail over coronavirus fears. Now, remember, this guy actually peed on 12-year-olds, okay? Peed, okay? If I was locked in an apartment with JD, he wouldn't even do that to me, I don't think.
Nah, I wouldn't pee on you.
He'll eat
I wouldn't
you.
do that.
Ain't gonna pee on you, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat the hell out of you, but I would never pee on you.
Yeah,
the only peeing I'm doing on a person is that dude from India that burned himself. I'll try to help him out.
Help my brother out.
Now, I'm not going to say I won't be listening to an R. Kelly soundtrack while I'm eating your ass.
There you go. There ain't nothing wrong with a little bump and grind, right? R. Kelly's second bid to be released from prison due to coronavirus fears has been rejected by a federal judge. They say he's a flight risk. Now, I will say one thing in his defense. You are innocent until proven guilty, and I love that about our system. But I don't know why they don't release him with an ankle monitor and take his passports. Where's he going to go? I mean, he's R. Kelly, dude. Nobody's going to let you around his daughter, so,
yeah.
You know, you try to run and be like, oh, hey, it's R. Kelly. Go get him, right?
You're not hiding in public whenever you've got that many people that know your name and your face.
Right. So I think, personally, that maybe they should let him go on a big bond. A bond big enough that if he does run, it won't cost us anything to go find him. Okay.
A bond so big that it pay back the people and the victims that he
Exactly, because you forfeited, right? Yeah.
I think they should just put him in the cell with Bill Cosby.
Yeah, or Jeff, or Harvey Weinstein, or whatever.
No.
Oh yeah.
Harvey Weinstein, didn't he like little boys? I know he did.
Yeah.
He went after girls, right? Now you got to put him in a cell with somebody who likes boys. That's bigger than him too. That way he knows what it's like to get peed on.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta lock JD up with him for like a couple days, just not to do anything crazy. You don't want to kill him, JD, because we want to let you out in a couple days. Just pee on him.
I'll do it.
Middle of the night, just wet the bed on purpose.
Yeah, big golden showers for days.
I might have to put a disclaimer on this video.
You already know me. You know, there's like no cares for me, dude. So you know, if you're like, go pee on him, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just get you a few beers in you and give you a $5 bet. You're like, oh, okay.
But I would expect, like, if you got stung by a jellyfish, I'm going to pee on you, dude.
Would you really? You do that for me?
Damn right I would.
I think if you just put vinegar on it, you're good. I'm not sure.
All right, so you have vinegar at the beach? Come on.
Yeah.
Well, what are you?
Kylie got stung by a jellyfish twice, and both times the lifeguards, they have this solution there, and they guarantee
you're a corporate dad. I forgot. So you probably got like a fanny pack with like triple antibiotic ointment, vinegar, sunscreen. You got all that in your fanny pack. Your man sass.
Hey, easy. We got a guy at work, Chuck. If you're watching, shout out to your fanny pack. He wears one every day to work. Great guy.
Hey, I got a survival fanny pack.
I'm not saying that they don't come in handy or they're not a good idea. I just think they're fashionably not that great.
Well,
unless they come in OD green or tactical coyote.
Yeah. Well, I have a tactical day pack that I use all the time.
In all fairness, I'm already just in my Speedo anyway, so why not a fanny pack?
Yeah.
Oh,
why
my
not?
God. That.
You know what I'm saying?
Boy.
Hey,
I just pictured that, man. I got to take it back a notch.
Take it back. Take it all back. Okay, hey, man, well, that wraps up our show tonight. 47 minutes of pure debauchery. Thanks to my redneck friends. We have learned a lot tonight. In other words, my friend will eat me, won't pee on me unless I've been stung by a jellyfish, and he hates fanny packs. But besides that, you have actually walked away from this hour more stupid than when you came in. Thank you for joining us tonight. Be here tomorrow. Thursday, I have Kareem Jackson on as my guest host, and we will see you here tomorrow at 9 p.m. See you guys later.
This has been Nightcaps with Nate. Please join Nate for a nightcap every weeknight at 9 Eastern here on Facebook Live.